Support WrestleTalk!
Well, there's been some news this week. There's some news. And look at that news. And honestly, I'm really glad that I'm doing this list because I'd rather talk about the sillier small things than the big, sad things. Can't believe CM Punk killed the Queen. I'm Adam from WrestleTalk.com, and here are this week's 10 wrestling news stories you might have missed. Number 1, Shawn Michaels and Triple H promoted. Ever since Vince McMahon's retirement, the WWE's rebuild process has seen several kicks up the corporate ladder. Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan were appointed co-CEOs, while Triple H assumed the role of EVP of Talent Relations and took over the majority of creative duties. On Tuesday, WWE announced Big Daddy Paul had been elevated to the post of Chief Content Officer, which sounds like a made-up YouTube position, and Chief Financial Officer. In their press release, the company noted that since taking over main roster creative, Triple H has architected a 15% spike in Monday Night Raw viewership and double-digit increases in social media engagement. So, nice. It's good that your wrestling's not anymore. While Triple H is dealing with his increased duties in WWE, his best friend and fellow DX member Shawn Michaels has been promoted to Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative. Following his promotion, Michaels will continue to oversee creative in NXT, as well as being in charge of the development of talent in WWE's developmental brand. Michaels will oversee the expansion of NXT UK into NXT Europe, which is planned to launch in 2023. DX for the job you want, not the job you have. DX doesn't sound enough like dress for that joke to work. Number 2, Pat McAfee off commentary. Pat McAfee has been one of the best pickups for WWE in quite some time. Thank goodness they took a punt on him. Did you get it? Because he's a fucking punter, isn't he? However, news broke this week that McAfee had landed a full-time gig with ESPN's College Game Day. The popular pre-game broadcast airs every Saturday morning during the fall and early winter, traveling across the country to different college campuses during the football season. With his role on Friday Night SmackDown, it immediately raised questions if Pat could work both jobs. Turns out, no. The team at WWE were concerned that weekly red-eye flights between SmackDown's host city and wherever Game Day would not be good for Pat or his family. Instead, he remains a part of the WWE team, but for college football season, his focus will be on his new role at ESPN. Number 3, update on Roman Reigns and next title defense. Now, you might be forgiven for forgetting this happened a week ago, but Roman Reigns once again retained the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, thanks to a debuting Solo Sikoa, and everyone was, bit peeved, but then everyone forgot about it really quickly. In 2022, the Tribal Chief has taken on more of a part-time schedule. So many fans have wondered when we will see the top prize in the company defended again after the big show in Cardiff. Per Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the head of the table is still not scheduled to compete at Extreme Rules on October 8th. This seemed to indicate that Reigns' next title bout will be in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel on November 5th. Number 4, more crazy Velveteen Dream stories. Since Triple H has taken over creative for the WWE main roster, we have seen a litany of stars from NXT reappear and gain prominence once again. At a time where WWE is looking more black and gold every day, Velveteen Dream, real name Patrick Clark, has found himself in the headlines for different reasons. After being arrested twice in 1 week in August, more information has circulated about the situations the former North American champion was incarcerated for. According to police documents obtained by TMZ Sports, Clark got into an argument-turned-fight with a gym employee. It is described as Clark punching the man in the face and biting him after an altercation where the former Velveteen Dream made death threats to said employee. Let's just move on, shall we? Number 5, Seth Rollins praises wrestling in both AEW and WWE. It seems like a great time to discuss some positive news from the week. Seth Rollins got a bad reputation in 2019 after interactions with Will Ospreay and interviews in reference to All Elite Wrestling, and also him just being a big company man when the company was shit. However, thanks in part to his amazing work in WWE recently and almost entirely this Elton John cosplay, Rollins has seen a remarkable recovery in public perception. This week, furthered that ascent as he decided to take to Twitter to show love to not only WWE and NXT talent like Gunther, Walter, Sheamus, and Carmelo Hayes, but also AEW stars like Swerve in Our Glory and The Acclaimed in a post celebrating a fantastic weekend of pro wrestling. Rollins tweeted, "The amount of top-level in-ring content that happens weekly on TV is staggering. Gunther fella, Roxy Mako, Ricky Mello, KO Theory, Roman Drew, Acclaimed, Swerve, it's unreal. Appreciate that shit." not. Number 6, Colt Cabana on media conferences. Following the AEW All Out media scrum, not sure if you remember that, very unnewsworthy, many fans have speculated on what Colt Cabana may have felt about the verbal tirade by CM Punk delivered almost unprompted. Punk publicly aired their legal dirty laundry following reports that he was the reason for Cabana, aka Scott Colton, not being in AEW and now a part of Ring of Honor. Cabana hasn't directly commented on Punk's rant, but he has reacted to some interesting social media posts. The ROH star liked a tweet from John Lister, notably posted before All Out, arguing that reporters at pro wrestling press conferences are part of the performance. Lister had tweeted, "An event where pro wrestlers answer questions in character is not a press conference, it is a performance portraying a press conference. If you ask questions at such an event, you are not a reporter, you are a performer taking part in the portrayal." Number 7, Kevin Owens throws shade at CM Punk ? Another piece of interesting social media interaction from Colt Cabana was liking a tweet from Kevin Owens, which could have been a shot directed at CM Punk. Following AEW All Out, KO tweeted a photo of himself and Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. Due to the timing of the tweet, this led to speculation it was a shot at Punk, due to the AEW star always wanting to headline WrestleMania but never being able to do so. Kevin Owens is also very close friends with the Young Bucks and Cabana, so Colt liking the tweet may have confirmed the reasoning behind this photo. Number 8, Malachi Black released. You would think any other week the news of a former WWE star and NXT champion being granted his release would be the biggest news story from All Elite Wrestling. Not this week. However, this is a major development. Last week, reports circulated that Malachi Black had asked for and was denied his release from AEW after being confirmed for the All Out pay-per-view. Following his match, Black hugged his fellow House of Black stablemates, blew a kiss, and bowed to the crowd in a sign that he was leaving. Per Fightful Select, numerous AEW talent said they've been told Aleister Black is done with the company for the foreseeable future, with sources citing a conditional release. Even though Black might be gone, his faction will stay alive a little longer, with Brody King and Buddy Matthews, with Julia Hart in their corner, having a match taped in Buffalo for this coming week's AEW Dark Elevation. Number 9, AEW injuries. Despite promises that the roster would be back at full health after All Out, there are still some individuals on the sideline, and some even very recently, such as Chris Statlander. She suffered a completely torn ACL and lateral meniscus in August and noted on her Instagram story that she underwent knee surgery this week. Statlander is scheduled to be sidelined for 6 to 8 months. Another competitor who may or may not be out with a bad wheel is Alex Reynolds. After a spectacular AEW World Trios Championship tournament final against the Elite at All Out last Sunday, the Dark Order member was seen using crutches to get around the locker room. There is no word yet on the nature of Reynolds' injury, but hopefully he isn't out of action for a significant amount of time. And number 10, John Cena reacts to Max Caster's attitude adjustment. Some more positivities. Yes, we need this. Seth Rollins wasn't the only WWE top star who was showing love across company lines. 16-time world champion John Cena has been a public supporter of Max Caster and the Acclaimed for a few months now. At All Out, Caster showed off his strength and busted out an almighty attitude adjustment on Keith Lee, drawing comparisons to Big Match John, hitting it on the Big Show. Cena shared a shot of Caster's move on Lee in homage to the AEW star on his Instagram. The WWE legend often posts pictures without any explanation, but this was a self-explanatory sign of appreciation for hot young stars. And that's our list. What's been your favorite bit of wrestling news this week? Yeah, you know, there's probably some, I would have to assume. Anyway, never mind. Onwards and upwards. Continue upwards by subscribing to WrestleTalk. Good link. And jam that jam, I suppose.